Hey, what's up guys, Tix here, bringing you guys my Interchange and Labs guide. It's going to be a long video, so get prepared. I'm going to explain a lot about how I make this much money. As you can see, 440 million, like just past a month into the wipe now. Even after all the nerfs is pretty good. So, first of all, there's two things to note. Okay, so first, Interchange. Interchange is probably the best map for ROUBLES out of Labs, purely because the graphics cards are 500k right now, and they're only going to keep going up in price. They sit around 500 to 520, which is basically a Labs run in like one pickup, so it's pretty nuts. Plus, you can get like 3-in-1 run, which is super easy sometimes. I get a lot of double GPU runs on Interchange when I do my route. It's entirely up to you though. I think Labs is more, as a general, is more consistent. You can go in if you have all the keys, and you can consistently hit the rooms non-stop. Most of the time, the raids are going to be pretty quiet on Labs because there's not many people playing it because the money's so hard to make. Obviously, you need all these keys to make decent money on Labs. So don't have these keys, I would not recommend running Labs. Red is a huge factor into why I make so much money on that map, and so is Violet. These two keys are the most important, red and violet. And obviously these keys are cheap, so you would always want to grab these. You can do it without green, black and blue. Green's pretty bad this wipe overall as a general. Black is also pretty bad. The only thing that's good that comes from green is intels, which I do get a fair amount from, and the LEDX spawn. And sometimes you can get a black card, but I've only found it once this wipe, which is pretty rare. So, to note, Labs is more consistent ruble-wise per hour. You can get really lucky and find, intels and stuff like that, lions, pro kills, tetrises, and even sometimes Bitcoin, some red. It is mostly consistent, especially if you have good servers. I suggest avoiding EU servers as much as possible because EU have got a lot of cheaters. But there is some servers that you can go on that are pretty quiet for the most part. I tend to play American servers the most because that's the most consistent way to avoid hackers on Labs. Now, Interchange. We're going to go into Interchange first. This is the loadout setup. This is if you're trying to be on budget. Obviously, I like to run MDR and Interchange a lot. It shoots M61. It'll 2-tap any armor in the game and 1-tap any helmet. Huge. TV 110 for the slots and the efficiency. Obviously, it's a tier 4, which is, in my opinion, one of the best armors in the game still. Obviously, you're going to get 2-tap to 7.62 BP anyway if someone's using a mutant, regardless of tier 4 or tier 5. Now, you can use tier 6, which I do recommend, but it's entirely up to you and how consistent you are on the Interchange runs. So, let's get straight into Interchange. This is a budget loadout here. I'll show you a juicer loadout later on in the video for when I go to Labs, and that applies to Interchange as well. First of all, you're going to need these keys. Ultra Med, get this. Kiba key. You should get one of these from a quest. Emicon key, this is a huge one here. I want this key for sure. And the Ollie outlet key, you don't need this. This is I just have it there sometimes when I want to try and get some extra money. It's not worth it though. I never really do this in my route. The more we load a raid, I'll explain to you a few things. So, Interchange. It's all about efficiency. First of all, what you've got to take into account is where you spawn. Spawn dependence is like huge on this map. So, if you spawn, let's say, Railway, right? One of the worst spawns in the game. The closest thing to you that's going to have loot is probably going to be Idea. More than likely, someone is going to spawn closer to Idea than you, so you're probably not going to get the loot. But in my opinion, I still think it's in your best interest to take that spawn and go there, purely because the spawn points on the other side of the map are just so far away. You already know that someone else is going to hit them and take all the loot, right? So you're just going to be wasting time. I would definitely take the chance to fight the people that are already at Idea and try and get the loot from them. Alright, so here we are. This is where we spawned. We spawned next to back of Ollie, Emicon side checkpoint. Always on Interchange, you always want to bring stimulants. SJ6 is the preferred stim, always. I highly recommend you bring in an SJ1 too. A lot of other streamers don't do this. I think I'm like one of the few that still does it. I recommend bringing an SJ1 purely because it puts your strength up to even more, which will give you a 5% movement speed increase, which I think is huge. So what you want to do, pop the blue stim off the rip, and then pop the red stim off the rip too. And I'll show you the stats and why red stim is good. You come over to here. As you can see, strength goes all the way up to 60. And I'm at 24% movement speed. So it gave me an extra 4% movement speed, which in my opinion is pretty huge for a map like this. This map's all about efficiency and being as fast as you can. So we're going to run into the store real quick. There's two paths that you can take. I don't recommend going through the back of Ollie. I recommend taking this path. It is slightly faster to get in towards graphics cards, and you have two options once you come under this way. Either go to Rasmussen straight away, which I don't recommend because it's really risky and it's a bad position to go into. Or you can go up the escalators, jump on the middle of the railing, and then if you see any players, you can pick them off for free, which is what I like to do. Same as Hyperat. Hyperat does the same thing. It's a very efficient way of running this map, and I'll show you here in a second. Also, bear in mind, people will be coming from this way too, so always check this area. You will 100% run into people here. Said I would not recommend that. You'll run into killer farmers too. You want to jump up on this like that. The audio doesn't cut in till about right here, so people won't hear you. So if you start slow walking right now, you won't give audio. Obviously, this is a bad example right now because of the fog, but usually you can pick people off coming through the front here and just running across, and you can also see partially back here too. First things to note, let's go right here. There's a huge spawn that nobody checks. Graphics card spawn right here, 1G phone, wires, and all that other loose tech. I always hit that and get a lot of good loot from it. I'm going to keep going forward now, coming into tech skull. The store used to be very good for graphics cards, but it's okay now, it's not the best. Wire spawns, GPU spawn right there. Military cables spawn here, all are down on this row. Graphics card spawn, I find it pretty consistently here. Obviously, the military cable there now. There's also a Tetris spawn here. And then you want to come here, there's another graphics card spawn. Bulbs. Make sure you pick up everything too, by the way. Always pick up everything, in my opinion. Everything you pick up in this room is worth, okay? Maybe not the DVDs, though. So I always take GM counts, broken LCDs, light bulbs, motors. I pick up absolutely everything. GPX, more spawns here. There's a spawn there. This one's pretty big too. You can get GPUs on the back shelf here. I have got them. I don't think loot spawns back here anymore. It used to back in the day, but I don't think it spawns there anymore. Now you have two choices, okay? Two choices. This is the hardest part for me when I play the game. I'm like, do I want to go Tech Light or do I want to go Rasmussen? Now, in my opinion, I think Rasmussen's more worth than Tech Light right now for graphics cards. I think it spawns more. So it's entirely up to you. Pay attention to what happens in the raid. If power's turned on, I highly suggest going straight up to upstairs, okay? If power's on, go upstairs and make sure you get Ultra Med too, because it's free, okay? But if it's not on, I recommend coming Raz. Now, you're 1000% going to run into people here, so make sure you're on your guard and ready. Obviously, you guys know the loot spawns in here, but I'll show you anyway. Loot can spawn in here, along these shelving units, on here. Hold it there. There is some loot somewhere here too. Unless it's bugged. Okay, it might be bugged. There is a loot spawn here. It might have spawned inside the actual table. That can happen sometimes. CPU fan. More loot can spawn right there. As you can see, G-Phone. That's a really good one slot at 28,000 rubles. Paracord. Oh, would you look at that? Graphics card. Next thing you want to do, boom. Straight in the container. No one's getting it from you. If you die, you put it straight in the Bitcoin farm. Easy clap. Okay, moving forward now. You want to come back out this way. If you did go for the Rasmussen option, you have to bear in mind for people coming from lockers, the escalator that we came up over here, and also from here. So be very careful, and just make sure you check your wits. But you got to be fast too. You got to make sure you're fast with this run. Otherwise, you're not going to get the juice, man. So straight away, you want to come up here. I like to do this. Okay, this is what I recommend when you run the map. This helps me a lot to survive. So either run along this railing or this railing, and you want to strafe, jump over this like that, and then do a little thing. You side look to the left to see if anyone's here. If there's no one here, you can use this as cover if someone's shooting at you when you come up, which is huge. And then run into the store. Okay, now loot. All over here, another secret spawn. Fuel conditioner can spawn here if you need it for the quest. Along these tables will be everything. All tech loot. You want to pick up absolutely everything, okay? Because every small piece of arm that you pick up counts for rubles that you don't have, you know? Like, you just want to grab it, man. Everything. I know, even if it's like 6k, just grab it. It's light. You can sell it at the flea market. They hold decent value. It's going to cover the cost of your ammo when you shoot people. It's 1000% worth picking everything up. Another little tip right here is to walk into the shelving units so it raises you up. As you can see, I'm slowly going down now. You want to walk into it like this, and you can see if there's loot on the shelves. Usually phones and stuff like that. Graphics card spawn over here. Usually a good spawn here for graphics cards. GPU spawn right there too. I don't pick up DVDs because they don't really sell for much. Wires. And they take 2 slots as well, which is kind of bad. You only really want to pick up the 1 slotters unless they have good value. That is the Tech Light run right there. Obviously, we didn't get lucky with much loot. Then, this is optional. If power's on, you always want to hit this first, okay? I got a triple LEDX from here the other day. That is insane, okay? It's 500k. Make sure you check these shelving units too. You can get some really nice meds spawns from there. And then that's it. You don't really want to be PvPing, in my opinion, if you want to be making rubles. You want to avoid PvP as much as possible. For these routes, though, you will run into players, 1000%. But you want to avoid them as much as you can. So that's Tech Light. You have 2 choices here. Do you want to risk it and go down the escalators and just try and ego everybody that you find that's shooting you? I do it all the time because I just find it fun. Or do you want to be safe and go through secret and come down the stairs? For now, we'll go secret. I usually ego down the staircase, but obviously, if you're trying to survive, don't do it, okay? I just do it for my stream, for content. It's funny. Sometimes I get a crazy, you know, clip where I just kill like 3 people camping the bottom of the escalators. But then sometimes I get head-eyed, so it's not worth. So, if you don't know what this is secret. This is where a lot of people come through the back of Tech Light. It's the safest path in that you can come through. No one really camps this area. I also do this. I do this because it's just faster. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you're not, you know, experienced with it, because you'll break your legs very easily. So I go like this, and then just kind of like parkour down the staircase. That was a bad example, but you get the idea. It's just a faster way to get down. Saves a lot of time. You want to come through here now. Be very careful around here. People love to sit in these corners and camp lockers. So, Bitcoins, Rolexes, gold chains. This is where you're going to get the juice. As you can see, Rolex right there. Boom. Check along this shelf. You can use the max perception method, but I don't like doing it. Basically what that is you run along the fences, and your perception will show up like a little circle when there's loot nearby. Like for example, like this. You see this little thing? That means there's loot nearby. I don't do it. I'm too lazy. But yeah, so Bitcoins can spawn all in these lockers. Obviously we got unlucky this run, so let's move forward. Now you have 2 choices. As you can see, this is the loot from German, Texco, Rasmussen, and Techlight. This is a pretty juicy run. You got a graphics card. I highly recommend you get out the raid straight away. That's 500k secured right there. So you have 2 choices. I don't run 11SR this wipe, but if you have a friend that does, I recommend it. You get your friend to split with you, and he turns on power, and you take 11SR together. Pretty good option. But you're probably going to be doing this solo, so obviously I didn't get Emic on this run, but usually you will. You want to go through here and just go straight to Emicon Exfil. Obviously for this run we're not going to do that. I'm going to show you the full milk run that I like to do. I like fully milking up and get as much loot as possible. I always full greed pretty much. Obviously you shouldn't do this, but it's entirely up to you. It's more efficient to just reset and go again and try and get more graphics cards per hour. But I like to do it for content, you know. So this is the path that I take. In here, German, more graphics card spawns, Tetrises, military cables, all great loot. Top of here and along the shelf. I'm going to show you another little secret spawn that not many people know about. Defibs can actually spawn right here on ophthalmoscopes. Good to know. Killer used to spawn here, but he doesn't spawn there anymore, I don't think, so just keep that in mind. Coming up to TTS now, and Emicon. This is the Emicon key that I was talking about earlier. This one right here. It's worth like 300k. Recommend you getting it as soon as possible. Now you can check these jackets. I don't do it for efficiency, but it's entirely up to you. You want to come straight here. CPU fan, motor, and golden star spawn right here, plus other meds. Jump over here. Boom. Graphics card spawn right there. Obviously, I'm not going to pick it up because I'm full, but you get the idea. I would if I was on an actual run. And check along these shelves, you'll find juice. Then I take this path right here. Check for the lion spawn, a teapot and vase, 1G phone. Jump, and then crouch jump. So at the same time as you jump, you press crouch on your keyboard, and it'll allow you to jump through first time. Then you want to wrap around like this. Obviously there is some flaws, you know, you're running through some risky areas, but this is the most efficient way to do it. TNT, bricks, D-fuel spawn right there. Always grab those. Not many people do that. Come over here, graphics card spawn, 1G phone spawn. Moving forward, the idea. Most of the time these rooms will be hit, but it all depends on if you want to full greed or not. This is what I do, but you probably shouldn't do it, okay? But I will show you anyway. Tetris spawn, graphics card spawn there. Come over to here. GPU spawn, 1G phone. GPU, G phone. Right here's juice. Juice right there. Juice can spawn here, and juice can spawn here. Next, we're gonna go through the lions now, okay? So a lot of things that people miss. Right here, I always grab this lion. Pretty sure there's a spawn right here. There is also a spawn right there. Right here by that blue box. And you want to come all the way over here. There used to be a cat statue spawn here, but I don't usually check these on the runs. You can if you want to, but I don't check them. I think it's inefficient. Most of the time, lions are really rare. Cat statue spawn right here, plus some other loot. And I'm pretty sure a lion can spawn here on the bed. Like I said, I know I'm probably missing some of the spawns here, but I don't check these, okay? It's not worth your time. Now, you have two choices, okay? This is another thing I highly suggest that you do. Make sure you bring rubles with you. Bring like 20k rubles. Because, like I said, you either go to Emacon, Railway, or you can take the car extract, which you need rubles for. So, on this path, we're going to go all the way to Power Station. Power Station also has really good spawns, by the way. Graphics cards, 1G phones, rat poison, deadly beard oil for the Capit quest item. You wrap through here, and then you run straight across. Like this is super risky, but it's all about as fast as you can be. Obviously, you're gonna be stimmed up too, so you're gonna be moving fast. And as long as your movement's good, you should be able to dodge people's shots. Because usually people got bad aim that are camping Power Station. Okay, come into here, deadly beard oil right there. GPU spawn, GPU spawn. Now, here's the car extract. This is a huge one. It's up quite a lot of the time. Then you can take this, go up to it, give them the ruble, and you're out. That is the run. Okay, so things to note. We spawned back of Emacon, so that means we got a railway railroad extraction. I like to go railway. Yes, you know, you waste like 2 minutes running there, but I prefer it. You don't really run into people camping it. That is pretty much the interchange run. I don't incorporate killer kills into my run at all, to be honest, because it's just too dangerous, and there's a lot of people farming killer this wipe for rubles, so you're probably gonna die. Now, this loadout, it was like the budget loadout. Obviously, backpacker's preference. I usually run Tequila helmet and a fleece hat and a tier 6, like a slick. But most of you guys are probably going to benefit from just running tier 4, in my opinion, because it's super efficient. Now, another thing to note, okay? This is another thing that not many people talk about. You drop this. Say you don't want to go to Railway or Emacon because you know someone's camping it by shots. You pick up all the valuable items, okay? Just, you know, whatever's the most valuable. Drop your backpack. It should be insured. Hide it somewhere. And then you want to come to hole in the wall and extract that hole in the wall. If you got a graphics card, does it really matter that you've left behind like 200k worth of loot? No. You secure yourself a safe extraction. And it's super free. Like, the TV110 is great for this one reason. You can fill all the loot in here. It's got so many slots. So all you do is you come all the way down here. Okay, so this is the hole in the wall extraction. One of the most common spots for killer farmers to come, but it's pretty safe in my opinion. This is in a circumstance that you think people are camping extract and you don't want to die. So you jump through this hole onto this container, run around here, and right here is the extract. Obviously you cannot bring a backpack here. Also to note, thermite can spawn here too, so make sure you check that. And that's the run. Obviously we've got a GPU and all this other stuff, so that's really, really good. That's pretty much the interchange run wrapped up. Like I said, I'm not going to show you examples of other spawns, but hear me out on this one, okay? Wherever you spawn, go to the store that's closest to you. So like I said, if you spawn Railway, go to Idea and do the route backwards. If you spawn Ollie, do the route that I just showed you. If you spawned front of Ollie, do the same thing. You go through the store, Ollie, Texco, Rasmussen, Techlight, depending on if power's on. And that is pretty much it. Wherever you spawn, just keep in mind the closest thing you're at, okay? Like what's closest to you. And then just go to that and do the route. Basically, it's the same thing. You're just doing it one way or the other. I don't recommend hitting Kibba because it's too risky. You want to keep this run short and sweet. I aim for around 10-minute runs on Interchange to make 1 billion rubles. So that is the goal. You want to do as many graphics cards as possible per hour. That is the goal in the end, okay? As many GPUs as possible per hour. Yes, you can make good money from Kibba, but I do not recommend you running Kibba, even though it's good money. Alright, so that was the Interchange run. Now let's crack into the labs run. Okay, this is another huge one right here. So up to our labs keys. Let's get our card. 200k. Keys are actually getting cheaper this wipe, which is great. This is a good change. Unlike the keys are getting cheaper. The same loadout applies here. Obviously, you don't need the stims though. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to show you the loadout that I use alternatively to the budget loadout, which is Tequila. I think this is the best hump in the game. I also buy a fleece because if you didn't know, fleeces actually give you more audio. And I know that sounds like a joke, but trust me, it's true. They give more sound. You can either run tier 4 TV110, or you can run a slick. I run both, whatever I'm feeling when I'm, you know, if I've died a lot. If I've died a lot running slicks, because they're expensive, I'll swap to TV110. But it's entirely up to you. I recommend TV110 always on labs anyway, purely because it's just super efficient. So let's crack into the labs run, okay? Labs is also spawn dependent. Like I said, servers play a big part in labs. Most of the time, no matter what server you're playing, you're probably going to have 1 to 2 players in it at all times, purely because the map's dead anyway. Not many people are playing it. I recommend you swap servers, okay? Put 1 to 2 servers on the launcher and queue up and test them. This way, you'll ensure that you'll probably run into less cheaters and you'll have more consistent runs. So, here we are, spawned in, okay? Pop the golden star, straight off the rip. You want to do this. This is important. I always do this. Pre-medding is a huge part of labs, okay? Because you usually run into players fast. Okay, so we spawn main side. I'm going to swap to my post effects real quick. Cognac's the best for this map. So what I like to do as soon as I spawn in, I whack main. I'll explain why. I whack main, I come through this way. Purely because if raiders spawn on the other side of the map, okay, it will give me information on players shooting the raiders. So raiders will spawn here sometimes, so you can kill them for free and move on. So we spawn closer side to red, so let's be efficient with that. Also, fuel can spawn along these if you want to check these too. Just a little trick. Check these boxes if you need food. Food always spawns in these boxes on labs. Lunchbox, I think it's called, spawns there. Sugar can spawn here too, make sure you check that. And condensed milk. I'm going to wrap all the way around here. Now you want to be careful coming along here. You've got 2 things to check. Come through here. There can be players waiting here for you. Why? Because if you didn't know, there's actually a player spawn right there. So keep that in mind. You want to hit this safe, which I recommend. I always do this. Safes are huge on labs, that's why huge. There we go, that's 40k right there. I don't like to take the rubles, but I do take the euros and dollars because I don't like buying them. Run along this railing, jump up. Make sure you're on this part of the railing because it will give you sound on people on bridge and inside red. If you're down here, you won't get sound. Little trick for you. People like to camp in this plant pot, so I check like that. I do a little jiggle peek like that to see if there's someone there. A little jiggle peek like that. Always check this spot right here for pronas waiting for you. First thing you do is come into the bathroom. Off them a scope, stimulant spawns, ammunition spawns right here. Boom. Move forward. I like to do this. Pre-aim this. Check if people are sitting back in the spawn. If they're not, that's great. Poke this wall tightly. Always check over here as well as you're running along. Coming in. Wait for the door animation to finish. Close the door like this, and there you're in. I like to take off my helmet just because it's, you know, it's annoying when looting. Ophthalmoscope stims all along here. Now, this is another big tip that I don't see many streamers recommend. Open violet door straight away. Open these doors off the rip, okay? Come over here, check for the green card spawn, intel spawn. Ammunition can spawn here, check it. Look for BT and BS ammo. And also a Golnik. Come in, jump up on the desk, look for loot on top. Unlock the door. Good ammo can spawn here. I don't recommend picking up the Val ammo, it doesn't really sell for much. You want to pick up absolutely everything you find, because you're going to probably replace it anyway. A little trick for you here. Jump up, crouch, and grab this, super easy. Boom. That's the red room. Always loot these, PDCs are good money, Bravos. Suppressors. Typically you just want to pick up suppressors and scopes in here. Golnik spawns and BT here. Boom. Why do we use the docs case? For this one reason purely. Boom. Also, same for intelligence can go in there as well. Intel spawn there. Alright. Wrapping around now. Open this. Come into violet. Wireless transmitters on top of this shelf and RFI radios here. I don't check these much anymore, but you can if you want to. It's entirely up to you. They can give you good loot. Gold chains, suppressors. Boom. That's the red and violet. This will make most of your money on labs at this point. That is the room finished. Okay, now you have 2 choices. I run this way. This is what I do. I jump up on here. Use these pillars as cover. Intel spawns. Boom. Boom. VPX. VPX. Okay. Nothing there. And we come into... I like to call this chain room. It's next to parking. People call this different things, but I call it chain room. Intel spawn here. Vases. Chains. That's that. And we come down here. Bearing in mind, be careful of here. Then I rotate through this area. This is actually pretty safe. You don't really usually get shot from here. I ADS to scope for the defib spawn right there. No defib, unlucky. Come through here. RFID reader spawn. Vertex. Tetris's VPX. Open this. RFID reader. VPX. There. Now I like to run up here and then scope out mid straight away. This is important. Scope out mid. Check over here like that. And then you come here. Check there. Boom. And then I don't run straight down into mid straight away because it's risky. I like to wrap around here. Check this. Suppressors, scopes, easy money. You can press hanger button, but I highly recommend you don't press it. Check for all this loot because on this run you're gonna want to make less PvP as possible. You just want to grab the loot as fast as possible. Obviously, now running in mid is super risky. Vertex, fuel, defuel, all that sort of stuff. It is risky, but I like to do it ASAP off the spawn. I like to get mid finished as fast as possible, because if you don't get it finished straight away, more than likely you're going to die to people camping it later on in the raid, because that happens a lot. In here, it can spawn great stuff. You can check the boxes, that's up to you. I don't for time efficiency. Intel, always check there. And you can go up. Now, this is the riskiest part. I like to leave managers till last in the raid, after I've cleared the entire map. Green card, intel. Intel. You can unlock either door. I like unlocking this side. Come on in. Vase, loot. Loot there. Intel on the table. Check the safe. This is another little trick right here. I press delete on the items to make it as fast as possible. So I don't have to wait to search the container. Jump off this like that. VPX, RFI reader. Graphics card spawn can still spawn here, by the way. Super rare though. Defib right there. Tetris, RFI reader. Stimulants, meds, stims, intel. Tetris. Black card. Vertex, Tetris here. Black card and intel. RFI reader there. Walk up onto this. LEDX. Wireless transmitter. Stims, defib, and then stims along here. And meds, of course. Run along here. Vertex again. VPX again. We want to run up here. I come straight to green. I check both sides. Boom. Let's get into green real quick. Open the door. Meds and stims. You know the deal. Stimulants across the table. Intelligence. Medical supplies. Stims. Attachments. Good ammo. More stims along here. Spawn there. Defib. Defib. Golden Star. Morphines. LEDX. Stims. Meds. Right there too. And on here. Intel. Black card spawn right there. And stims there. That is green room. Okay. I've tested Sanitars this wipe. The key is too expensive. I do not recommend running Sanitars. I don't buy it. It's a waste of money. And I'll come along here. I always check. Check up the top like this. Save time. Run straight to black. Open up black. Black's a pretty bad room this wipe. But it's always worth checking if you have the key. Stimulants. Everywhere that I aim will be stims. Okay, that's the black room done. Now I like to run through server because I like to check. As you can see, this runs pretty fast, right? A lot of people that do come to labs don't usually run out their spawns, so you can take advantage of the map by running around it fast and grabbing the loot. That's what I do all the time. RFI reader spawn here. It's bad pathing. I recommend you come underneath the stairs just in case someone has an angle and is camping. Attachment spawn on that box. Come in here, pre-aim this. Moonshines can spawn back here. Ammo, really good attachments. LEDX, RFI reader. Boom. Okay, so that's that. And then what I like to do now is I like to drop. Get the extraction prepared. Press O. Open this door. Be careful of people camping it. TNT and explosive mayo. Good ROUBLES. Close the doors behind you. Press the button. Be careful of G campers. G campers are pretty common this wipe. Come into here. Boom. Turn on G. Raiders will spawn all the way down here. If they don't spawn down here, they'll spawn somewhere else on the map, or they won't spawn at all. but usually it's the first two options. Be on your wits when you're down here, by the way. You can kind of tell if there's players because of the doors and stuff. Defuel's on the table, and raider spawns there. Defuel there. Go up here. Straight out, be careful. Open up the blue room. Check for the green card spawn. Boom. Stimulants on those there. Stims right here. Coming into blue. Stimulant on that table, right there. Athletic spawn right there. Stims, golden stars, medical supplies. Same on this bed. Boom, boom, and boom. That's the blue room. Now we come upstairs. And we're almost at the end of the run. We do all of this, sub 10 minutes. Boom, boom. Here, along here, on those. Walk along this for speed and efficiency. Check that. Now, while you wait for the extraction, I recommend you do this. Come in here. Free loot in here all the time. Optimus scopes, golden stars, everything. Check along all of this stuff. Everywhere that I aim, you'll see. There'll be loot. Wrap around here on that shelving unit. All on these racks, on the beds. And right there on the table. And that is the run, boys. That's a sub 10 minute labs run. We scooped the whole map, sub 10 minutes. Obviously, I didn't pick everything up on the recording, but that is pretty much it. Obviously, you're going to say, like, well, Tiggs, raids aren't usually like this. Well, that is why you choose 1 to 2 servers. Usually, if you're on 1 to 2 servers, you'll only run into 1 or 2 players, and most of the time, the people that do play labs don't really do this. They mostly camp, so that is how I make my money, okay? As you can see, I run... This is like the loot. Obviously, I left a lot of stuff behind. But if you run this consistently, you're going to run into more green cards, intel spawns, etc, etc. This extract, no one camps. This extract's super safe. You come out through here. And I just pretty much run this route on repeat, non-stop, all the time on stream. It's very consistent most of the time, like I said, because there's not many players. And the server selection, I would not recommend playing Auto EU or Auto NA, purely because of hackers. So make sure you go on the launcher and you just look for 2 servers that you think are good and just test them. You choose 2 of them, test them out, start up the raids, and do that. If there is players in your raids, pay attention to what they're doing, okay? If they're camping blue, just skip blue out the route, man. You know what I mean? If you want to make money and that is your focus, and you don't want to PvP, if they're going to sit blue, take advantage of their, you know, what they're doing, the camping blue, and go and loot the map real quick. Obviously, you could run into other players camping, but if you copy my route and do it backwards, whichever way you spawn, obviously you're going to die a few times. I die quite a lot doing this route, but most of the time, I'd say I'd survive 80% of the time. And that's avoiding PvP, you know? Sometimes, you know, I'll force it and I'll go kill the guys camping an area. But most of the time, labs is going to be dead, and the players on the map aren't really going to be contesting you for the loot. That is the Interchange and labs guide. That is what I do. That's how I've got 440 million rubles. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Incorporate this into your own playstyle. Obviously, blue stim is probably going to be a big help to you here, because you're probably not going to have max stats like I do. This definitely helps a lot. So make sure you bring the blue stims to help out with that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. You guys have been asking for this video for a while. It's pretty simple. Just avoid PvP, man, if you want to make rubles. That's pretty much it. Skip some parts out of the run and go again, you know? That's literally it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching. And yeah, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. I put a lot of effort into this video, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Big love.